Future-Proof is sponsored by Concordia Dental Healthcare, expert care you can trust.
Hello and welcome back to Future-Proof, the business television programme looking at the power of emotional intelligence and all things associated with a great feeling of future-proofing, feeling safe moving forward. It isn't always about doing things, very often it's about how we think and how we problem solve. And sometimes I run sessions on my own and other times I invite people into the studio. And here in Shoreham, I'm delighted I have Cat Vizor with me. Thank you for staying with me, Cat. And before going on, I want to just clarify, ESTEEM is a Sussex-based charity. And I know as we were going into the break, Cat, you want to say a little bit more about the citizenship, didn't you?
Yeah, so people often think of citizenship as being a model of paying your taxes and voting and being active citizens that way, but actually I think the other side of citizenship, which is more community based and helping your neighbours or caring for people in the family, is often not recognised as citizenship, but a really valuable part of society. And that's what ESTEEM is recognising that young adults are doing, but there's a lot of barriers also preventing young adults from being able to act as in the full capacity as citizens because of the social pressures that they're experiencing.
I love it. I love everything this girl says. And you also use that phrase, future possible self. Can you say where that, is it Hargrave or something, where that came from and what it means?
So in my Masters I had some amazing insights and read Abby Hargrave's paper on future possible selves, which was a research project that she did, and it really sang to what I believe in about how young adults see themselves in their future. And depending on people's life experiences that they've had, if they've had positive experiences, they're more likely to envisage a pathway to achieving what it is that they want to do in the future, or even know what they want to do. Whereas people who have had less positive experiences or even a lot of trauma tend to not be able to imagine themselves in the future or see that trajectory of how they can achieve that goal. I think everybody would love a loving family and a stable home environment, but for some people that's a dream, but not an imagined, it's not a real future.
That really resonates with me because I did some while ago work with City College, now called something else, I know it is, in the centre of Brighton, working with the apprenticeship scheme, and we had people coming in who, some of them were homeless, some of them were single parents, some of them were drug addicts, and to me, you know, I just feel we cannot judge people. We have no idea what's going on in their lives, but the support system around us and our early belief systems of what we were told was possible or not possible fundamentally sets a ordnance survey map that we then navigate. And if we don't know, we don't know. Like you say, if our experience is constantly negative, sometimes that then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because that's all we know. We haven't been moved out of that into more positive experiences. And that leads me on to your another gem about ESTEEM, and you summed it up. What is ESTEEM's USP? What is so different? You use the phrase gift of time. Awesome. Say more about it.
So when I started on this research project within ESTEEM, I've been spending time with young adults, and they constantly say that what ESTEEM gives them is time. And we recognise, the co-researchers, that time that time has been turned into a commodity in modern society. You're paid for the time that you give, and you pay for time that you need. And what people say at ESTEEM is that we give that freely. We have the gift of time, and we receive the gift of time from people in the community and from young adults when they volunteer with us. And that's the real binding factor that makes us, I think, the different organisation that draws people together in the community. When
I was running Equipping Young Adults for Life, time really played a large part, and it's because so many people, when they're in crisis, think that, particularly when children are involved and their children, that they can nurture a relationship by giving and the gifting. And I'm not knocking gifting, but if time is short, you ask any child what they value most, they will always say time.
Yeah.
I want time with my mum. I want time with my dad. They don't care what they do in it. They just want time. And in line with the gift of time, the result of giving them time is this is another of Cat's phrases, not mine. You elevate people together. I've gone goosebumpy. Is there any more you can say about that elevating people together? Is there a reflection, whether that's time orientated, or maybe give an example of how you do that?
I think
the mechanics.
You said earlier how we work with people. We're on a level. We're young adults and adult volunteers who support their time, like mentors, and staff. We're in it together, and we bring our own experiences and share those with others, and we elevate people to a level together, and that's what ESTEEM does. It's about enabling people to have positive experiences, try new things, meet new people, go to different countries. It's those life experiences again. And I think also relating back to future possible sales, that in this day and age there's a lot of jobs that aren't very meaningful for people. There's 0 hours contracts and things like that, that people don't have a positive experience in their role. When a person takes time to take someone under their wing in a job, it means that they're much more likely to stay in that role and have a positive experience. And even if they don't stay in that job, they'll then think, I can achieve that again in the future.
So Kat mentioned about going abroad. They do take people abroad. You have voluntary mentors, and you have volunteers on the ground from just making tea and coffee. I remember you had a wonderful cook. I remember going for a meal, a community meal. We just all sat there. The meal was amazing. So Kat, if there's somebody watching now thinking, I want to be involved in that, either as a volunteer to give your time freely with somebody who can really boost and advise students moving forward, or indeed somebody who sat there going, do you know what, I'm not in a good place and I need some support, the support that they're hearing. What is their next step? Whether you've got a relative or a friend, where can they find you? And in simple terms, just often I say take a photograph of a welcoming room or of reception somewhere, because people need to know what it looks like going in. Can you create a picture as best you can? What is the next step, and what will it look like? What will it feel like when they take the next step?
Well, the young adults, funnily enough, have actually made a video of a walkthrough of ESTEEM, which is really lovely. So you can have a look on our website.
Which is what?
Which is www.esteem.org.uk.
Okay.
And with ESTEEM, you can walk in as a mentor if you've got some time to offer to ESTEEM and to young adults, an hour a week. That's wonderful. People just walk in off the street actually and inquire about mentoring. We sit down, have a cup of tea in the garden. Otherwise we've got plenty of opportunities for people to come and work with young adults, exchanging cooking skills, as well as young adults themselves can bring their interests or their skills and help ESTEEM grow as an organisation and share that with other young adults. And we also offer counselling as well, free counselling. So we are actually filling a little bit of a gap in society, because there's some serious waiting times on unfortunately with the NHS. They're really struggling. So we're listening to what young adults are saying they need and trying to bring in the support services when they're needed, and then in exchange people, once they're in a better place, then often give back, and so the cycle continues.
Fantastic. And you take students abroad, so have you got something coming up, or when was the last trip and where did you go?
Good question actually, Sarah, because we've been very fortunate that Nielsen Watersports Holidays have donated 30 places for ESTEEM to go and stay in their luxury beach resort in Greece, which is fantastic.
Wow!
But that's amazing, but the young adults themselves have to raise £360 per person, and so for people who don't have families that they can network with, it's been a real struggle. So we're actually £4,000 short, which we need to raise by the time we go.
When is that?
27th of October, but we need to raise it before then. We're not leaving it to the last minute, because we need to pay for flights and staff costs and things like that, and safeguarding. So the young adults have been doing all sorts of car boot sales, car washes, bag packing, cinema days. So yeah, if anyone can help with that, that would be amazing.
I think that's fantastic. We did it with our own children when they went to university. Yes, we helped them, but we actually said to them, you work out how much it's going to cost, you work out what you're going to do to contribute to it, and it doesn't have to be a lot, and then you ask us for what you need, and you know, that helps protect self-esteem as well, because most people don't like to take everything free, and if they feel they've contributed, then they feel more worthy of then taking that extra help. Cat, it's been a real pleasure seeing you again actually, after all this time, and delighted that at least for the next 3 years, and I'm sure more, you are secure in your role and taking the charity to higher levels and greater strength. Thank you so much, and have a great week. Thank you.